Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today I have a special look and I'll give you a hint. I am going to do a Mermaid Queen look. Now this look is not only going to be makeup, it's also going to touch on hair and costume tips for anybody that would want to do a Mermaid Queen look or just a mermaid look as well. There's gonna be a few special effects and a couple prosthetics, so it's gonna be cool. It's things that I haven't worked with before, so I'm really excited to dabble and play around with them. But other than that, let's jump right in.
Alright, so the first thing I'm starting with is the Smashbox primer water. We're going to be putting on a lot of stuff and I want to make sure that my skin is hydrated underneath. And then after that, I'm going to use the Nivea Sensitive Post Shave Balm all over my face. I'm going to put that in my hands, and what I do is I keep rubbing it into my face until it's tacky. You want to wait and keep rubbing until it's tacky because that tackiness is what's going to hold all the makeup. And then right after this, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Undereye Hydrating Primer because under my eyes tends to get really dry, and especially with the powders and the makeup, it'll make it look extra cakey. So this is just a good little way to make sure everything stays smooth. For foundation, I'm going to use this Nye Cream Foundation in Sallow Green. And I'm just going to apply this with a foundation brush and then I'll blend it out with the Beauty Blender. I chose this color because I really just wanted to look like I had spent my entire life underwater not getting sun. Next, going in with this 2-part adhesive, I'm going to apply this to where I want my gills to go with a Q-tip. Now, I'm not sure what type of adhesive this is, but you can use any prosthetic adhesive. This just happens to be the one that she gave me to use with it. And then after I apply that, I'm going to go ahead and fan it dry. You want it to be nice and tacky before you put on the prosthetics, just as if you were using lash glue, same thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and start putting those gills on. So using an adhesive remover and a Q-tip, I'm just going to clean up all that excess glue. You want to make sure to get that off because it's going to stay shiny and then you won't have the finish that you want. And then I'm going to apply the same Sallow Green all over the gills. And I'm going to do a second layer all over my chest and neck and my face. The first one wasn't enough for me. Honestly, I just really wanted that color to make a really good impact. Using the RCMA No Color Powder, I'm just going to go ahead and set the whole face. No matter what I'm doing, I always want to set the makeup because that's what's going to make it long wearing. And second of all, it takes the shine away. So if you take any pictures, which I'm sure if you're wearing something like this, you will be taking pictures, you don't want it to get that flashback. You want it to be nice and matte. And then for some color, I'm going to use this Wolf Novelties Essential Colors Palette, and I'm going to use the red and black to paint inside the gills. Now this is what's going to make it look like they're really gills and like they open and they really work, and that's really how I breathe. And I just got this palette at Party City. It was really easy to find and super duper cheap, and I'm using the brush that came with it. Now, using the white shade from that palette, I'm going to go ahead and start coloring the top of the gills. And I'm doing this just to add a little extra dimension, just so that they don't get lost and you can still definitely see them and they stand out. And this palette was super cheap and really awesome. I got it at Party City, and the only extra thing you need is water. So then using this matte mint green shade from Morphe, all my shadows are going to be Morphe, I'm going to use this goat hair blending brush to start contouring the eye. I wanted a sharp edge, so I'm using this card. I would usually use tape, but I didn't want it to take off that color underneath. So then using this matte emerald shade, I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing and deepen up that crease. Going in with some matte black, I'm going to tap on the color first just to make sure it's good and pigmented, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend it out. Using a little e.l.f. mist and set, I'm going to spray my brush and go into this metallic, really light mint aqua shade, and I'm going to apply that into the first third of my eye. And the reason I spray the brush is because it's going to make it look more metallic. And don't worry guys, I'm going to list all these eyeshadows down below. I just didn't want to start saying them all because honestly some of them got some pretty long names. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure to get that inner corner really nice and pigmented. I'm going to spray the brush one more time, and then I'm going to go into this metallic aqua shade, and I'm going to apply that color mainly in the center of the lid. And when you get to the edge near the crease, try to keep it in a straight line. I didn't necessarily call this a cut crease, but you kind of want to have the same effect. I didn't want it to blend out too much because I wanted that crease to really stay matte. And then going in with this metallic sapphire shade, I'm gonna go into the outer corner of the eye, and same thing, just keeping it nice and straight, and I want to make sure that those three colors blend together but don't blend in with the crease. Then I'm going to go in with this brush just to make sure if any color did get up there, at least it's nice and blended out. And then using this wax pencil from NYX, I'm going to put this all over the brows, and that's going to basically help us to use these next colors to adhere better. So I'm going to use the same colors that I used in my crease, that dark green and that mint green, to fill in my eyebrows. I'm going to use the dark green on the outer corner of my brows, like the tail, and I'm going to make sure it's super filled in, and then I'm going to use the lighter green on the inner brow because even mermaids need a good ombre brow. To highlight the brow bone, I'm going to go in with this matte white shade. And the reason I chose a matte is because I didn't want the highlight to be so bright and metallic that it countered those blue shades. I really wanted those blue shades to be what would stand out. And then for underneath the waterline, I did want to smoke it out a little bit. So first I'm going in with this flat brush with a little bit of that matte black shade. And I'm going to make sure to put a pretty good amount of that under there. Then I'm going to smoke out the waterline with a little bit of the emerald green on a pencil brush. You really just want to go back and forth and make sure that this comes out really nice and blended. And then using my NYC Liquid Liner, I'm going to start to create this shark fin liner. Now, I created this liner a long time ago. I don't know if anybody else does it, but I know that I kind of started doing it a couple years ago, and I definitely wanted to do it for this look. You basically create a V right in the corner of your eyes, and then you connect one side of the V towards the inner corner of your eyes and the other corner of the V towards the tail. And then to enhance this shark fin liner, I went over it with the Stila Liquid Liner in Snow. And I just went right above the black, and as you can tell, the reason I wanted to do this is because it really just enhances it. It really helps you see that V cut so much more. Next, I'm going to put this black kohl liner in my waterline, and you can really choose to do any color, any shade of blue. I just really like the black. And then I'm going to use this hairnet, And this is how we're gonna get our scales. So I'm gonna place this right over my forehead and I'm gonna put it on my brows because I wanted to try to prevent getting that straight line across my forehead. And then going in with this matte dark purple shade, I'm just gonna hug that up right where my hairline is because that's where you want the darkest part of your shadow to be. And then I'm gonna go in with this matte aqua shade and I'm gonna put it right underneath that purple and I'm gonna blend the two together. And then as soon as I remove this, you're gonna see it leaves that scale pattern so beautifully. Honestly, whoever came up with this idea was a genius because trying to create so many tiny scales would take you forever, and this just makes it so easy and they come out so gorgeous. So I'm just gonna do the same thing right underneath my cheekbones, but I'm gonna add a mint green shade just to add again a little bit more dimension. And then using that dark purple shade, I'm going to place that under my lips just to help give it that extra pouty look that even the mermaid would want. And then going in with that same snow liner, I'm just going to draw little lines around some of the scales. Now, I don't know if this is like a highlight or what. I am putting it just where like the highlight points would be, but honestly I just think it gave the look an extra little oomph. Like it made it look a little bit cooler. So this is something you don't have to do, but I decided to do and I'm honestly really happy I did. I think it made it look like cooler than it was going to. Going in with that white shade again, I'm going to go ahead and start drawing these little dots in little clusters kind of all around my face. And I wanted this to have like the appearance of bubbles. And again, this is something that was optional, but I'm really happy I did because it's the little things like this that really can take a look to the next level. So next, I'm going to use some of this NYX glitter glue, and I'm just going to apply this right on my cheekbones, and we're going to use a little bit of glitter as a highlight, and I'm using this Candy Cosmetics glitter in Sour Blast. It's just this really pretty aqua mint shade. So using this little blending brush, I'm just going to apply that right onto the high points. Then I'm going to use the same glue and glitter right on the center of my eyelid. And the reason I'm doing this is to add some dimension. A lot of what makeup is about adding dimension and contours and adjusting everything. And this dimension in particular is really going to make the eyes pop and really make them stand out. And then for mascara, I'm going to use the Tarte mascara. You can really use any because we're going to go in with lashes. For my lips, I'm going to use this new shade from Bite Beauty in the shade Kale. And it's just this really dark green that honestly I love. And it's wearable for something like this. And you can also wear it with like a totally normal makeup look too. Then I'm going to go in with some of the Sallow green just to make sure the edges of the lips are good and sharp. You want to make sure everything looks really nice and clean. And then for lashes, I'm going to use these shadow lashes in Cafe Terrace. They're very long and wispy, and that's exactly what I wanted. Next, I'm going to use these stick-on pearls that you can get at Michael's. I usually find them in the scrapbooking department. And I'm just going to apply these in clusters on my neck and a little bit on my chest. I really like these. I wanted it to look like barnacles and pearls were just growing on me from being underwater. The only thing that I do regret is that they didn't stick as good as I wanted it to. So I think next time I'll definitely apply some lash glue down first, or just some type of adhesive.
This is the final look. This look was super fun and it totally fulfilled all of my cravings of always wanting to be a mermaid. So I loved it. I love how the fishnet really does give like the perfect scaly look. A little bit about my costume. I actually ordered this wig on an app called Wish. It's basically stuff that comes from China that is very affordable. They had all kinds of different colors. It came really, really quick. I just wanted a nice long like aqua colored wig. My trident was actually a trident that I bought at Party City, but the one that they had was gold here and then the whole staff was black. So what I did was I just got some acrylic paint from Michael's and I painted the whole thing gold, and then with a hot glue gun I just added all of these shells. And these shells you can buy them in a bag at Michael's, or this one specifically is from Joann Fabrics. And then same thing with my crown. This crown was $1. It's just a little cheapy plastic crown that you see like the little girl princesses they'll have. So I just did the same thing. I painted it all gold and added some shells. My gills were actually custom made. I did order them from a woman in Orlando that does them, and I'll link her page down below. And my shell bra was actually a real bra that I had. I just spray painted it. I bought these two big shells from Michael's and then I glued them onto the bra and just using some acrylic paint, just painted it. And then again with the hot glue gun, I just added some shells. And that's it. This costume is super easy to do. It was a lot of fun. If you're ever gonna go to an event or you just need to dress up for some reason, this one can definitely come in handy. Alright guys, so that's it. I hope you guys love this video. I love creating this look for you guys. I feel like I'm about to just go jump into the ocean and rule my kingdom. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and I'll see you next time. Bye! A lot of boobage. I could do.